Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Marketing Matchmaker. I have to say, I'm incredibly excited about today's episode. Today, I have Laura Rike on, and we're talking about something I can honestly say I've never talked about on this episode, or on this podcast, because quite frankly, I don't know enough about it to talk about it. So, so Laura, welcome to Marketing Matchmaker. I know you're a Pinterest strategist, and tell the audience who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Yeah, perfect. So, hey everyone. Thanks for letting me come in here and stand on my soapbox about how amazing Pinterest is. So I am Laura Reich, Laura Reich Sura. You will find me online with my brand name and my married name. I am a Pinterest strategist. I own Simply Fantastic Agency, which is our management agency, and I help purpose-driven business owners, coaches, service providers, experts, e-commerce brands, you name it, scale their revenue and their visibility, all while using the power of Pinterest. I start doing this through organic strategies, and then we move on to scale with ads.
Love that.
Um, yeah, some fun facts. My clients and students have been able to grow into 6 and 7 figure leaders, landing on the first page of Google, generating consistent sales without being chained to the hustle culture of social media and the algorithms. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, that is exactly right up my alley because that's exactly what I teach. Though I tend to focus on when we run ads, Meta, LinkedIn, YouTube. So I find it fascinating because I use Pinterest a lot, mainly for recipes. So
yep.
So for those in the audience that do use Pinterest but had no idea that like this was an option, give us a little bit of insight, a little bit of background, like why Pinterest?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it's important to note that not every platform is for everyone. However, I have found within that this platform is more forgiving in terms of time while also leading the same results as other platforms. Um, the main reason for that I like to try to educate people on is because when we go to social media, we're going to it with the intention of doom scrolling,
A
honestly.
lot of
Um,
times.
Connection, right? Conversation, but it's not there with the intent to purchase something. It's
Mhm.
not there with the intent that I'm going to learn something because you're going there for the people and not necessarily for the topics behind those individuals. And you may not even know there's other individuals out there with the topics that you want.
Mhm.
So it's more interruption based. It's more in your face, maybe when you need it, maybe when you don't. And Pinterest is different. Pinterest works more like YouTube and Google, where it's intent based. And we're already problem aware on the platform, meaning we already know what we want. We're not there scrolling aimlessly, although sometimes we go to the feed for that. Our feed is still curated with the content that we have searched and what we have said we want more information on. And so it's different than just going for the doom scroll or the connection. We're going there because we either have a problem we're trying to look to solve. We are looking non-brand specific at who out there is someone I can connect with, learn from, purchase from for a solution that we're trying to, again, learn, purchase, whatever. And it can also just be planning,
Mhm.
even if it's DIY and crafts or food or hosting. Like, as entrepreneurs, we can think about how just because there's a recipe online doesn't mean it doesn't pertain to us as a business owner. Maybe we're hosting an event locally and we want to have a potluck event. Maybe there's crafts that we're going to go do at our retreat for the mindset reset part of it. Like all of this can be weaved into different places in our timeline of what we need. And so it could be for searching for someone that's going to handle marketing or graphic design. It could be learning how to manage your money better as an entrepreneur, or it could be as simple as I'm hosting an event in a month and my chef canceled. So now we're going to do potluck style, right? Like we are going there because we want something in return. And we want and need to find that specific outcome from the platform.
I love that information. Okay, so I want to clarify something because I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
something that you said a minute ago kind of triggered this thought. So Pinterest is a lot like Google, right? Someone's going and they're searching for something.
Yep.
And the difference between Pinterest and Google really is that once that person searches for something you offer, it continues to show up in their feed. Whereas Google, once they search it and they close it out, unless they go back searching it, they're not seeing it again.
Yes. Yeah. And it used to be even with Google, you could track people's um, activity, so to speak.
Yes.
And now all of that is also being way more restricted in today's world. And so Pinterest still has the ability to help us do that.
I love that. I love the fact that it kind of combines Google and social media, right? Where you're getting that interaction, you're finding what you need, but also have a feed that continues to feed you so that
Yeah.
organic kind of platform is still available.
Yeah, and there's social-esque things on Pinterest as well, to keep that camaraderie of social media. So you're kind of getting the best, my personal opinion, kind of getting the best of both worlds, honestly.
So, most of my audience are in that coaching, consulting, service provider space. How do they best use Pinterest? Like, what do they need to have? Let's say they want to come to you and work with you. What do they need to have together before they can even start using Pinterest?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is have the goal that you want. Are you going for awareness? Are you going for lead gen consideration? Or are you going for purchase? Knowing that and then moving into a strategy is going to be better than just spraying and praying, is what I call it.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing is honestly content, which I struggle to say because it's funny when I like stop myself and I'm like, well, yeah, you need content. And some
Yeah.
people are like, well, I don't have a blog. Girl, sir, please. Like, have you posted on Pinterest or on, have you posted on Pinterest? Have you
Right.
posted on Facebook? Do
Right.
you have a podcast? Have you posted on YouTube? Do you do reels? Like, all of that, as long as you have content, you don't have to go out and create new right now. Um, you can gather that content and figure out what the intent is behind that content. Figure out what's converting for you right now. So if you have a reel that you know is like, okay, this is where I start the conversations that are leading to my sales. And maybe it's the sales calls that you're converting on, but you have a social post on Facebook or a YouTube that gets people to book those calls. Start there. Create pins for that, link directly to where it's already working in your business, and then start building off of that visibility from there. Then you can go to, well, I did a podcast that has half the downloads of my previous podcast that is converting like gangbusters. Great. Then let's start looking at what is trending on Pinterest. What are the keywords or phrases that people are searching on Pinterest? And use that to lead to that podcast so you can bring up that visibility. But I always want to caveat, please have the goal and start with where you're converting first, because that's the easiest way for me to give you the quick win on a slow platform so that you can really truly see the power of Pinterest and then be excited about continuing on that journey.
I think that's something that also in that slow that we need to just clarify for people because I
Yeah.
am of the opinion that this entire world is way too much instant gratification. And a lot of people go into marketing no matter what the platform or what they're doing and expect results in 24 hours.
Yeah.
In reality, what does it look like on Pinterest?
Yeah. Yeah. If you think that you're going to get rich quick on the platform, stop listening. Like,
If you
I'm
think
just,
you're going to get rich quick on any platform, stop listening. It's
yes,
not
please,
reality.
please, and thank you. Yeah, it's really not reality. So I tell everybody we focus on the platform for 3 to 6 months out so that we're never scrambling to create content, create pins, schedule out. Like I always want you to be ahead. Even if you're not somebody that plans ahead, you have previous content, which we already covered, that can go for stuff that's trending now. So that could take you a quick 10 minutes. It's not going to be this big, huge deal that you have to like all of a sudden create a new YouTube video or blog post or podcast today for something that's going to trend tomorrow. So just know that. But also, I think with that, the results can vary based on a number of different factors. When things are going to be searched, right? There's going to be natural peak times. We're not going to be searching for fall activities to do with our clients or fall stories to talk about or winter blog posts to bring in your next client in the summer,
Right.
right? And so there's just things like that that go into play. I really, really suggest to all and anybody that you always give anything that you try a solid 90 days. If you don't see some sort of movement in a solid 90 days, then maybe it's not for you.
Right.
Pinterest included, but I beg to differ. Um, but we always do that. I think that is the turning point where if you set the right goals, you say, okay, I would like to see more awareness and understand the platform better and maybe start to get some traffic from it in this 90 days. Perfect. If you're coming into it saying, I want to make $1,000 in 90 days, you
May or
might.
may not.
Yeah, you might. I'm not saying it can't happen. I had a client who started, made $750 in 2 weeks. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great. That is like best case. And then there's slower cases. So I know that's kind of a cop out in terms of an answer, but like it really depends on your niche, what people are searching for in your niche, and what the seasonality of it is right
Yeah.
now.
And it's not a cop out. It is reality when it comes to marketing, no matter what platform you're on. And I've said this in multiple episodes. What you do now sometimes won't produce results for 90 days to 6 months, which
Yep.
means that you have to give every funnel, every platform, everything you do. If you're running ads, you definitely, let me put this caveat in here. Ads need to be monitored daily. You should be getting some kind of results and the results may not be $1 million in 90 days.
Yeah.
However, you should give it 90 days before you give into
100%.
something.
100%. Yeah. So most of the time, I actually moved my organic management to 6 month contracts just for that reason. I have other services that are month to month or quarterly. But in terms of management, if you really truly want to see results as a service-based industry, right, it is going to take time. Trends have changed, people's behaviors, like we talked about, have changed. We're more skittish sometimes about getting on the phone. They need to have this trust factor. They need to learn more about you. So go back to those goals that we were talking about too, the awareness, consideration, and purchase. Make sure, even if you're going to pin once a day, every single day, do awareness today, consideration tomorrow, purchase the next day, and then cycle it again. Like, build that into your strategy and then do that for 90 days. And I guarantee you, you will see movement. What that movement is up to you and your goals and where you're linking and the other factors. But it's definitely a platform that serves coaches and consultants way more than I think they give it credit for.
And I think that's the thing, because I'm going to be bluntly honest with, a lot of people in my audience, and they're kind of used to that, but
Me too.
organic reach on a lot of platforms is dead. Like you have to pay to play, or you're not really going to get the results you want unless, like on Instagram, you have to post 3 to 5 times a day. Who the who has time for that? Where I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, Pinterest does have more of an organic reach where you could just post once a day
Yeah.
and get that traction going.
100%. So I focus on teaching everybody that I come in contact with quality and consistency. And I know consistency is one of those things like, okay, well, consistency means X, Y, and Z. Like, so my consistency that I teach and preach is what works with your schedule. So I have people in my coaching results group program where they're scheduling once every 3 days. That's what works for her. That is what is bringing in the kind of traffic and sustainability she wants in her business. Because she also is leading a slower life and taking trips and doing like that's perfect for her. Then I have other clients who are bloggers and podcast owners as service-based businesses. They have tons of content and tons
Right.
of repurposable content, and they're pinning 10 to 15 times a day because they can. Same thing happens for both of them, incrementally grow. We did a case study where it was one person had an unfortunate accident as a coach. She could only do her coaching calls, but no other forms of content being present. She had to focus on healing. Thankfully, we were working with her already. We were able to help repurpose that content and continue posting for her for 6 months without her needing to do a thing. She
Nice.
brought in a new high ticket client from that. And then we had another client who was posting a new blog post every single day for her service based business. And she was an Etsy coach provider. And she brought in a new high ticket client from that. But we saw in their growth, comparing them side by side, it was somewhere like 10 to 15% incrementally. They both grew in all areas of everything we were trying to do, with one barely posting and one posting a ton every single day. So it's really, really focused on what can you give? What is the quality behind it? How are you serving them? And then how consistent can you be?
So, is there a bare minimum that you need to post on Pinterest? Like I tell people, if when you're posting on social media, Meta or LinkedIn, bare minimum 3 times a week. Just make sure you're alive. People know that you exist. Is there the
Yeah.
same type of thing on Pinterest?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be bold and just I'm an open door, open book policy,
Right?
you said, right? So I'm going to challenge you. If you are not a new business and you have been in business for at least 4 to 6 months or longer, I guarantee you, you have enough content using the right strategies on Pinterest to post a pin one time a day. By starting in the beginning of the week, one day a week, sit down, create 7 pins, and post once a day.
So you
Now,
can schedule on Pinterest as well.
yep. Oh,
Perfect.
100%. I am
That's
scheduled out through the end of October.
that's fantastic.
Yes, 100%. So, like, I would lovingly push you and challenge you to do at least one time a day. Now, caveat, that's not a requirement. That's not a
Right.
hard and fast rule. I know that you guys can do it because, like, you already have the content out there. So why are you letting it just grow dust on the social platforms where they
Right.
just die off? Um, where you could put the pin out next week once a day, for 7 different blog posts, podcasts, whatever you want to do. Again, pick the right strategy for you and then let it sit there. I have a pin, text-based only, leading to a blog post from 7 years ago that still brings me in leads and sales. So
Fantastic.
it's just challenge yourself, push
Yeah.
yourself. Like, you're in business for a reason, so I know
Yeah.
that you can be challenged, and 90% of us, knock on wood, love to be pushed and learn and grow. So I'm going to say one time a day, and then just schedule it. You could do a whole month for one day.
That's fantastic. I love that because it does make life so much easier. Because you're right, everybody has a ton of content. It's just a matter of reusing it, pulling it together and getting it out there. Okay. So, because I am sure a lot of people have a lot more questions for you. What is the best way for the audience to reach you?
Yeah. So anywhere you want to look for me online, it's Laura Rike, Rike. I do have a funsies landing page for this podcast. So
Nice.
if you go to laurarike.com/podcast, you will have a number of different trainings, PDFs, access to my group coaching, management, things like that. And then also, if you are someone who is like, I'm going to be the oddball out and I don't have content, and I don't think Pinterest would work for me, please send me a Facebook message.
I
Please.
love that.
Because
Yeah,
I have a specific AI chatbot that I created where I will put in your name, your brand, your website, and I guarantee you I will find a month's worth of content you can post on the platform.
I love it. I love that. I mean, honestly, it is fantastic. And my friends, AI is my best friend. I'm not even gonna lie about that. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I will put Laura's information in the show notes. So if you missed that link, just check below. And for those of you that are looking for organic, maybe you're not ready for paid traffic. Maybe you don't want to use Meta. Maybe whatever's going on in your brain right now, Pinterest could be a good opportunity for you to grow your business, increase your revenue, and scale your impact. And if you're looking for that overall marketing strategy, head over to your marketing matchmaker. And I promise you'll walk away with at least one actionable item that'll help you to get to that next level. Till next time, we'll talk to you soon.